Good afternoon. This program is being sponsored by E2 Tech and NEEP. You'll hear more about the two groups in the next hour. E2 Tech is Maine's largest community for environmental and energy professionals. We have several hundred member companies, thousands of people who are in the community and participate in our programs and events, and a number of partner organizations, of which NEEP is one. And E2Tech's been around since 2002. So this is our 22nd anniversary. Most of our events are in person or online, which is pretty much the two options. Some are in the Portland to Augusta area, and we're trying to do more in terms of outreach to other parts of the state. Because, again, Maine's a big place. We're also involved in programs elsewhere in New England. I'll pass the baton over to Chase from NEEP, who can talk a little more about what's going on today in this program, which is designed to help companies and organizations and agencies in Maine find interns.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Chase McPherson. I'm a senior associate at NEEP Northeast Energy Efficiency Partnerships. And my colleague, Michael Anderson, our new senior manager to the team, is here as well with me representing NEEP. And I will share a couple slides about the program that we're going to highlight today. Okay, how does that look? Great. So we're talking about the ReMaine Clean Energy Internship Program. NEEP is the lead on this project, and we are one of the 6 regional energy efficiency organizations that cover the country. So our territory is West Virginia up to Maine, and we work with all different kinds of groups like membership organizations, state energy offices, utilities, nonprofits, all kinds of people to focus on regional collaboration in advancing building decarbonization. This project, the ReMaine Clean Energy Internship Program, is funded by the Maine Governor's Energy Office as part of their Clean Energy Partnership, which is a workforce development series of grants funded by ARPA. And we are recruiting and placing interns in entry-level clean energy jobs, and the interns will work 240 hours each, and our wage range is $18 to $22 an hour. And for the employers, we will subsidize those wages 50% up to $22 an hour for those 240 hours, so that the people can get, an accessible point to learn more about the industry, for getting practical experience and getting a good sense of, what kind of job they might be interested in the clean energy umbrella. We are working with E2 Tech and the JPI group, who you'll hear from, and IntWork, and the JPI group and NEEP are providing a little bit of orientation to the industry and some soft skills training to help bridge any gaps that might exist for people, entering the workforce. And the JPI group handles all the payroll and HR, so there's a very low administrative burden for any employer who wants to participate. And this year, we're going to be placing roughly 16 to 19 interns through September, the end of September of 2024. We do have a particular emphasis on placing interns of color and women in these roles. So we have some goals for those metrics to help diversify the industry as well. So this is actually our second year of the program. We started in October of 2022, and in our first year, we placed 26 interns with 17 different employers, and the average wage was just about $20 an hour. So we were really glad to see that, it wasn't just hanging out at the very bottom of the range at 18 an hour, but these are, it's a really great opportunity, and there's a lot of opportunity in this industry. And we did meet and surpass our goals for placing women and people of color, which we're really excited about. And the types of jobs, had a really broad range, from weatherization technicians to people kind of doing accounting and admin support for those roles, research and communications and clean energy, engineering, carpentry at a high performance home company, and then heat pump installations. In year one, at the end of their 240 hours, 8 of the interns were offered full-time jobs, which we were really excited to see because we didn't have any requirements that the employers be, open to hiring at the end or that they have a role that needs to be filled at the end. But, we were really excited to see that a lot of people were able to parlay this into full-time work, and that 30% conversion rate was really exciting. The definition of a clean energy job that we're using comes from the Maine Governor's Energy Office. And I won't read this entire thing. Excuse me. um, I won't read this entire thing, but like I said, it's a broad umbrella and it's anyone involved in the research, distribution, sales, manufacture, install of goods or services related to, clean energy generation, renewable energy, clean grid and storage, energy efficiency like home performance or high efficiency HVAC, clean fuels and alternative transportations. And then again, like I mentioned with those kind of administrative roles, these can include supporting services like consulting, finance, tax, and legal services related to energy. So we're really open to a huge range of different possibilities. So those are all the basics of the program, and I'm happy to answer any quick questions, but if not, Nate from the JPI group can talk a little bit more about the process of how the JPI group finds candidates and screens them and, what it looks like for an employer to participate.
I did have a couple of questions. If
Yeah,
that's
sure.
Where are the interns in their academic
That
journey?
is a really good question. So we actually have a really open definition of an intern as well. A lot of people do think about college students, but we are basically open to anyone in Maine over the age of 18. So in year one, they were not all college students. We had some people who were a little bit older and wanted to make a career change. Some of the employers we've worked with do have their own internship requirements and they want college students or people pursuing a particular degree. And we can work with that as well. But we really want it to encourage employers to kind of think broadly about the different kinds of people that, the different kinds of skills that could fit in their role and be open to different types of people.
So the next question is more specific to our situation. Maybe not. That we do life cycle assessment and greenhouse gas accounting, and we do a lot of work for people looking at different energy solutions. And so there's a lot of our work that's directly with clean energy. For example, we worked with Environment and Climate Change Canada on the clean fuel standard, and setting up the requirements for that. So that to me does fit, but we might not have enough work to completely, that's all specifically energy related, to fill an intern's hours. But we also, our regular work, there's always energy involved, right? If somebody's doing injection molding, and we'll always look at what does it look like if they use alternative energy.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be okay if they did kind of a mix of work, or do we really need to focus them only on clean energy projects?
Yeah, we've come across this question with some other employers, and the governor's energy office's answer was, it should be a majority focus on clean energy, but it doesn't need to be 100% of their time, because we understand that this kind of work is, can be interdisciplinary.
Great, thank you.
And I forgot to mention interns, depending on the employer's needs and the candidate's needs, it can be full-time or part-time. So that 240 hours could take different amounts of, weeks. Full time at 40 hours a week, it's just 6 weeks. But we're, perfectly open to people working 20 hours a week and, spreading that out over a longer time frame. Nate, do you want to take it away and talk a little bit more about like what the process is?
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nate. I work for the JPI Group, which is partnering with NEEP on this process. So the JPI Group's been really kind of working through a variety of different channels for this project. We work with Chase and NEEP to bring in the employers, right, and vet them. So oftentimes we'll get interest through conversations like this or through peer reviews, things like that. And we do an introductory call with them, learn about their organization, learn about their area, geographical and cultural areas of Maine are really important to learn about. And then if we deem that their role is, qualifying, then we connect them with our sourcing and recruiting team. What they'll do is learn the roles. We essentially embed into their organization. We post the jobs around through a variety of different channels, things like LinkedIn, Indeed. We've even gone so far as to post through Facebook groups, which has been successful for some roles. Chase kind of mentioned we're not just looking for, traditional summer internships for college students. Some of the roles kind of qualify more as like on the job training. For example, we had 2 starts on Monday, an HVAC installer and an insulation installer. Both of those folks were a little bit farther along in their careers. They were looking to change from general carpentry to a more directed clean energy type role, which is really awesome for New England homes. So with that, there's a lot of different opportunities for folks. So anyway, so once we learn the role, a recruiter will be the ones who are connecting with candidates, doing a first round interview, vetting them for basic qualifications based on what the employer tells us. We do encourage employers to have a lower barrier to entry under the idea that this is a training program. There are obviously some non-negotiables depending on the role, but at the end of the day, we want anyone to be able to apply. And if they work out, then we will have with the employer. After that, if it again continues to go well, then we will onboard them through our payroll. The reason being is, auditing purposes for the governor's office, general liability, etc. But a lot of employers are taking them after the 240th hour and enrolling them onto their own payroll as full-time employees. So really from the first introduction of the position to their final, our entire team is working with the candidates hand in hand, checking in with them, making sure that they have everything they need for success. One story I like to tell is we had an organization that needed a bookkeeper, so the guy could go out and sell heat pumps, instead of carving out time during his week to do accounts payable or receivable, etc. We had someone back in the office that he used to read up just to go do the skilled labor that he was successful with. Well, he used an accounting program she wasn't familiar with, but she had every other tool. So our accounting department actually worked with her and trained her up on how to use that software so that she was ready to go. So JPI really kind of went beyond on that in particular, but we do have the ability to help out candidates as much as possible, including wraparound services, things like childcare, transportation, etc. Really any need, we can see if it's viable underneath the program umbrella.